In this lesson, we are going to create our skirting and cornice profiles. So similar to what we've done with the apartment plan, we're going to bring in reference images. So we go to our material editor, we'll create a new slot and we'll call this skirting. We're just going to drag the skirting profiles into our diffuse slot. So if we just create a plane, and we'll apply this material. You can see this profile is 144mm high, so we'll just adjust the size of the plane. Just something around that will do. If we go up to our shape panel and select line, we can just trace around this profile. You can just do it very rough. Don't worry about the curves at the moment. We will adjust these. And we'll close the spline. Just going to straighten this one up slightly. And if you select all these vertexes, right click and go to Bezier corner, we can move these green handles to create the curves. Like so. If you select this one, for example, in here, and use the fillet function under the options, we can just add a slight curve. We'll do the same with this one up here. Okay, that looks good, so we'll just hide this reference plane. On our model, if you select your float, we'll just shift and drag this down to make a copy. We'll just delete the edit poly off it, and under edit spline and your selection, select segment. I want to delete all the segments apart from the ones in the hallway. Just do this like so. You can always create skirting in the other rooms when it comes to it. Okay. So under your modifier list with the shape selected, just scroll down and go to sweep. In your sweep parameters, go to use custom section, select pick, and we will select our skirting profile. So that looks relatively good. If you start to get like facey lines in here and edges, if you select your skirting profile, go to interpolation and just change the number of steps. I think it's 6 at the start, so if it was 6, you can see it's really quite facey in here. So we'll just change that back to around 35. It's nice and smooth. So we just select our skirting and we'll drag it up. I'm just going to hide the floor for just now. Turn on your 3D snap. We'll just snap this down there, like so. So now we have our skirting in, we'll look at creating the cornice. Before we do this, I'm just going to take a copy of the skirting, shift and drag it, and just delete the sweep off it. We'll use this line for the cornice. So again, if you create another plane, open up your material editor. Under a new material, we'll call this cornice. And we'll drag in cornice profile to the diffuse slot. Just apply this to the plane. Just going to scale this slightly to a bit more realistic dimensions in comparison with the skirting. Around about there. So again, back to shapes, line, and we'll just trace around this. Again, very rough, as we can adjust it just after this. "2D snap back on." That's good. So we'll just turn these all into Bezier corners, and we'll just create our curves like so. It's just a very quick method of creating cornice and skirting with custom profiles. Just going to move this vertex slightly. That looks good. So if we just deselect this, and we'll hide our reference image. If we select our line, and again, we'll just scroll down, go to sweep, use custom section, select pick, and we'll select our cornice. Just going to hide our ceiling at the moment, and we'll drag our cornice up. As you can see, it's facing the wrong direction, so under your sweep parameters, just scroll down and we'll mirror it on the XZ plane. This should flip it round. And all we want to do now is use your 3D snap and snap it back down. That looks good. As you can see here, we'll just get gaps. So what we can do is go back to the edit spline. Just select your vertexes. We'll just select these two, for example. We'll scroll down and we can just fuse these together. So we just do this with these. Like so. And we'll just select the sweep again. You can see that's sorted that problem out. I'll just fuse these last ones. Okay, so that looks good. We now have our skirting and cornice. And it's just showing you many ways you can edit. You can add these also into the other rooms. For example, the living room, if you see into the rooms in the shots. But it's just the exact same method. Just extract the lines from the walls, use sweep, and select your custom profile which you have created.